Hello, friends. How are you? Welcome to this week's Math Moments with Mona. I hope you are doing great. I love doing these videos. The feedback has been amazing, so we're going to keep going. If you are watching, please say hey, please let me know. Talk to me in the chat while you are here. The purpose of this is to just give you a little bit of micro PD, right? A chance to connect here with each other in the chat and with ideas, but also, make PD approachable. And that's what we're doing in this group. And I am so excited today to talk to you about productive struggle. It is one of the things that NCTM says is important to creating that effective math discussion, which ultimately leads to math understanding. I deeply believe in productive struggle as a part of our math teaching, and we're going to talk about why. So let's dive into it. What is productive struggle? I think it's important to note that productive struggle is simply, working on a problem that is challenging, but is within your reach, okay? Unproductive struggle would be problems that are overly frustrating, too complex, or just outside of your student's zone of proximal development. Sorry to throw in those ed words for you, but so you want it to be adequately challenging and complex, but not something that kids can't achieve. So when we're talking about choosing a math task, I'm sure you've heard like that low floor, high ceiling. You want the first step your students have to take into the problem to be one that they all can take, one that many of them can take, okay? Or those that might not be able to be ready for that first step can do it with a little bit of help from you, okay? And then the high ceiling part is where the question is open-ended enough where students can solve it and then add or continue to, continue on with the problem. I'm not saying this well, I don't know. Sorry. So it's open-ended enough where your students can naturally differentiate, I guess we could say. All right, but why do we need to do this? Like, why do students need to productively struggle? So I have some research here, which is from the Teaching Gap publication by Stiegler and Hebert in 1999. And so basically it was a report of classroom observations. And it was particularly a study where they sent observers to 8th grade classrooms in the US, Germany, and Japan, okay? And their findings were frankly shocking. They noted that in the US classrooms, now I'm just reading the research, that students typically dealt with a much lower level of, I'm sorry, I'm not reading the research. I'm reading from this book called Faster Isn't Smarter. It's Messages About Math and Teaching and Learning in the 21st Century. And I'm reading message 17 called Constructive Struggling. And they're talking about this study. Okay, so they found in US classrooms that students typically dealt with a much lower level of mathematics content than students in other countries. So just right off the bat, the content we're giving our students is lower. They also noted that students had far fewer opportunities to develop mathematical learning. Instead, they were simply being told what to do. So they weren't given opportunities to create their own meaning. Instead, they were just being told, do this, friends. And then this last one is, it says worse, but observers reported that on a few occasions when American teachers chose mathematically complex tasks, teachers' approach tended to remove the complexity and reduce the difficulty of tasks. Okay, so that last one, I feel that one, because as teachers, we want to help students. We all went into teaching to help students. And so often we feel like we're helping them by breaking the problem down for them, by showing them what words to look at, by highlighting words, circling words for them. or drawing the table for them that they'll need to fill out to get the answer, or giving them a step-by-step process to follow. And I'm going to just be real with you. Like, I'm totally one of those teachers that has done that. I have done that. And I forgive myself and I forgive you, and you should forgive yourself too, because when we know better, we do better. And even when I was and am a teacher that supports productive struggle, I still have to fight myself in stepping in and doing too much for them, in removing the complexity and reducing the difficulty of tasks, because I didn't like math and I want to make sure they like it, right? And so I want to make it easy. I want to make them feel success. And I have to remind myself that we don't find success by being given the medal at the end, even if we didn't win the race, right? We find fulfillment when we worked hard for something, when we know that we earned it. And so I'm working really hard in my classroom to support productive struggle through creating a culture of struggle, creating a culture where we are like, math is hard, math is challenging and complex every single day. I say this to my students every single day. Today you will struggle. Today I will give you a challenging problem. If you leave here and you weren't struggling, please let me know so I can do my job better for you. This is the kind of way I talk to my middle schoolers, okay? And that's so important, because we want our students to know that this is what learning is. Learning math is not supposed to be easy. These are complex concepts, and we have to like learn how to find strategies, evaluate strategies, ditch some strategies, revise, right? Like all these things, these are the skills. That's the part I think we miss, is that those are the skills that we want kids to leave math with. Yes, we want them to learn to multiply, divide, add, subtract, do all the things, understand ratios, understand fractions, but more, I want them to see a problem in their real life and say, I know how to do this, or I'm not afraid of this. I can try it. I can figure that out. That's what I want. I want that math mindset of like, no problem is too challenging for me to try. And I know how to approach challenging problems and start. So all that to say, productive struggle. How do you make it happen in your classroom? It doesn't just happen overnight. It doesn't just happen by like happenstance, but it happens by choosing the right tasks, as we kind of talked about. Worthy, real world, relevant tasks. And then in your classroom, having a routine that gives students time to grapple, is what I call it, or productively struggle, where they know the expectations for that. They know that it's a set amount of time. In my classroom, it's 8 minutes, no matter if I taught first grade or if I taught sixth grade, it was 8 minutes. We're going to work on this problem for 8 minutes. We can do anything for 8 minutes, right? And then that routine, they can come to expect it. For 8 minutes, I know I'm going to feel blank. For 8 minutes, I know I'm going to use these different things to find ways to solve, right? Whatever. It's a routine. Make it a routine. And then intentionally build your culture around that time. Tell kids, this is an opportunity for you to build your own ideas about math. That is powerful, right? I'm giving you this time. And I'm not telling you what to do, telling you what you have to do, showing you what to do. You get to be independent. You get to do whatever you want. That, whew, for middle school, they like that. But you have to invest the time. And sometimes that can feel hard when there's pressures from our curriculum, right? But I promise you the payoffs in both their mindset as mathematicians and their ability to do complex work will improve. Invest the time. Invest the time. I know you can do this. And then finally, during that grapple time, that productive struggle time, conference with students. This is not the time where you go around and tell them what to do, but conference with them, find out what they're thinking, ask them what they're thinking. Don't help them, let them struggle, but confer. Possibly nudge, possibly support, but remind yourself that they can do this. We're not handing out participation ribbons in math. We're handing out medals to kids who participate like mathematicians, which is struggle productively. I'm going to end on that because that was good. If you used any of this in your classroom, come back to this video and tell me. Send me a DM. I'd love to hear how it's going. Or if you're trying productive struggle and you're like, it's not working, Mona. I did all the things, but it's not working. Let me know. We can chat about it. Take care, friends.